I never lose, either I win or I learn. Those are my only options, to whomever it may concern. About to be a hot topic, play with fire, you get burned. Ain't nobody give me nothing, whatever I got, better I earn. I never lose, but I learn. I either win or I learn. Those are my only options, to whomever.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Strong AF podcast. I'm Ashley.
I'm Yuri.
And tonight we have a very special guest on with us. Welcome, Joe. Joe is a personal trainer and competitive bodybuilder with over 26 years of experience. And he's currently doing online personal training and providing training and dietary programs. And he is also, just an incredible guy, right?
Oh, yeah, he's been killing it.
So we are so excited to get to know you more, Joe, and to let our listeners get to know you. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, first of all, let me say I'm just happy to be on you guys' podcast, man. Yuri knows you guys. I'm just amazed with your progress and everything that you guys got going on. Just want to put that in there, man. You guys are very inspiring. So,
thank you.
The feeling is mutual.
It's really cool. I've been training like a bodybuilder for about 26 years. I didn't compete for the first time until I think it was 2006. That was my first competition. And started personal training. I worked for about 3 or 4 different gyms, worked for Golds, started at a place called Elite Fitness, which is a hardcore gym down in Huntersville. In the beginning, it was great. You know what I mean? When I worked at Elite, I got to kind of, I trained under my own name, JP Fitness, trained people under my own concepts, that sort of thing. Long story short, I left there, went to work for Goals, and then the things that I was doing, everything that I wanted to do kind of went out the window because you're corporate then. Mm-hmm. So you have to do things based on their strategies, sort of thing. I just wasn't happy with it. I took a passion and made a job out of it, is basically what happened. So I kind of got out of that area of it. And now what I'm doing now with the online stuff, I pretty much do it on my terms.
That's perfect.
And so, I kind of call my own shots. I got the YouTube channel. It's just getting up and going. So again, I just do it on my terms now, and it's like 10 times better. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm really having fun with it, as opposed to, again, just it being a job and not so much a passion as it was in the beginning. So.
Right. Yeah.
How'd you get started? What made you decide to go with bodybuilding or fitness in general?
That's a good question. Bodybuilding is something that I've always been into, even when I was a kid, but I never really acted on it. Mm-hmm. I'm 53 years old. So, coming up in the late 70s, I don't know if you guys ever heard of Frank Zane's 3-time Mr. Olympia champion. Small guy. He won 3 Olympia titles at 188 pounds.
Wow.
So, and I was always a small kid, so he was just like an inspiration for me. I played a lot of baseball and stuff. I played a couple of years of football. Never had the size really to excel in football. I was really good at baseball. As I got older, I had some personal issues with being small. To be honest with you, I hated being a small kid. I heard every skinny joke in the book, and it just affected me. You know what I mean? It affected me in a way that I just wanted to change things. I wanted to do something different with my life. I had some health issues that I got straightened out. And one of the last things I remember my doctor telling me before he cut me loose was, "Well, you're set. You can gain as much weight as you want to gain." And now when I left his office that day, I thought to myself, you know what, this is a chance for me to really act on this fitness thing, this bodybuilding thing, and just see what I could do with it. So, with that mindset, it wasn't something that I wanted to be a passing fad. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I wanted it to be in my life here when I'm 53 years old, and So in the beginning, it was about learning everything I could learn about muscular development. And not only that, but like continuous progress, which is a big thing. The more I learned about, that whole thing was the way the body works. The body is always in an adaptive state. It's always trying to relieve itself of stress. And the way it does that in weight training is by getting bigger and stronger. Well, to keep that continuous process going, you have to manipulate that adaptation process.
Right.
I think you guys probably kind of tapped into that, with what you do. You have to change things. Once your body figures out what you're doing and it adapts to that, then it has no reason to change.
Yeah, especially like you say.
It's all about just kind of manipulating that whole system, the adaptation system. I didn't bring my book out. I wish I'd have brought it out. I stumbled across a book called Big Beyond Belief, which was written by a guy named Leo Costa Jr. Leo is the guy I did the podcast with.
Okay.
I bought his book. I bet I read that book from cover to cover a dozen times, just because I wanted it instilled in my brain, because it just all made sense. Now I'm shooting a 5-part video series explaining my training concepts, and I'm going to go into in the deep detail about this whole adaptation thing and how it works and how you have to manipulate it and how you have to keep your body in what me and Leo call the optimal training zone, as far as ramping phases and doing different things with intensity and volume and that sort of thing. Man, once that, and it became something that was instilled in my brain, I just took off. I took off, man. And the first 5 years that I trained under this system, granted, everything else was in check too. My diet was in check. I was eating, now these are bodybuilding standards, but I was eating every 2 hours, every 2 to 2.5 hours I was eating. I would get up in the middle of the night when I'd have to get up and use the bathroom. I'd get up and chug a protein shake and go back to bed. You know what I mean? That's how dedicated I was. And, the first 5 years that I trained, I went from 128 pounds to 185 pounds.
Wow.
Hard as a rock, it was quality weight, you know what I mean? And it was all from the dedication and consistency of the system and just being loyal to it all.
Now, how old were you when you started doing that?
24.
24?
Yeah.
Wow.
24. I'll never forget it, because that was when my life changed for the better.
So by the age of 30, you put on around 60 pounds of muscle. Yeah, pretty much.
That's crazy. It's like unheard of.
It really is, man. And I honestly, my body was so malnourished from the issues I had that once I got all of my health issues figured out and I got on this strict regimented diet and training system, my body was like, thank you. You know what I mean? And my body was just like a sponge with all these nutrients and stuff. So
now we really know about the health issues because that's what started our journey too. So do you mind diving in a little more on your health issues and like what actually drove you to that?
Well, my issues were intestinal. I had some intestinal issues. And it was simple stuff, man. All I had to do was, I had a lot of tests done. I had the light run down my throat, the whole thing. But he just put me on some antibiotics, man, and it cleared it right up. And once that happened, I was on my way, and again, by the time I was 30, man, I was hard as a rock, 185 pounds, drug free. It wasn't until I decided I wanted to compete that I started dabbling into the anabolics and stuff like that. And, if you know bodybuilding, that's just part of it. You don't compete. There are drug tested events, but even those guys, get around the drug testing and the whole thing. But it's just part of bodybuilding. And, I did, like I said, I did my first competition. I think it was in 2006, might've been 2007. 2007. And I was just hooked. and I've been doing it ever since. I did my last competition in 2013. I competed in, I don't know if you've ever heard of Quincy Roberts up in Greensboro. He does the Elite Muscle Classic. I did his show. I did the Masters over 45 and finished second in the heavyweight class.
Wow.
And it wasn't until here lately, you know, when I started the fitness pages and the YouTube channel and stuff like that. And, you know, I just got to thinking, and it's always, believe me, it's always in the back of my head. One more, just one more. I'm like, you know, it never leaves you. It's like any other athlete after retirement. They're like, oh, I'm gonna come back and do this one more time, or something like that. So, you know, I just felt like it was, you know, I'm still healthy. You know, I get my blood work done every 3 months. You know, everything's in check. Everything looks good. And, you know, I thought, you know, why not? This would be a good promotional gig for my channels and my pages and stuff. So I decided. Also, and a really good friend of mine is the promoter of all the local bodybuilding shows here in North Carolina. And after talking to him, man, I just decided, you know what, I'm gonna do it one more time.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so everything's just been going great. Training's going great. The diet's in check. And I'm on my way, man. Gonna make it happen one more time.
I love it. Our son, he likes watching all the strongmen on TV, and he's like, Daddy, I want to be a strong man when I grow up.
Because his takeaway from the strong man is all the food.
Yeah,
and that's the same thing. I'm gonna grow big. I'm eat all my food. I'm gonna be big. I'm gonna be big.
Yeah, it's through nutrition that it happens. You know, if you don't eat right, I always used to tell my clients, you can't out train a bad diet.
Yeah,
it's not gonna happen.
So speaking of nutrition, what's your nutrition regimen like?
Right now, I got a pretty good system and set. I get up. I usually get up around 6, do my fasting cardio, and then by 7, I'm eating. My first meal is 8 egg whites, 2 whole eggs, 1 cup of grits. That's how I start my day. I usually go train about 10. At 10, I go train. I got what it's called an Intra workout drink that I drink. It's got branched chain aminos, a few other things. I use a supplement called Photargo. I don't know if you ever heard of Photargo. It's actually a lactate starch carb. Yeah, dude, it's crazy what it does. It creates this shuttle system in the body, which, you know, you have this window of opportunity that opens up right after a workout for about 90 minutes, where it's just critical and imperative that you get some fast digesting nutrients in your system, you know, within that window to start the whole recovery process. And nothing aids that process better than Photargo, man. That stuff is crazy. I'm actually going to do a video for my YouTube channel just on Photargo and the benefits from that stuff. When I get home from training, of course, I have to get a fast digesting protein meal in, which is usually 1 scoop of isolate whey protein mixed in with 100 grams of oats. I don't use any sweeteners or anything with that. The flavor of the protein's enough for that. It's, you know, that meal, especially that meal, is strictly for purpose. You know, it's not for taste. I'll eat that. Maybe 2 hours later, I try to keep a red meat meal in my diet right now, just because I'm in a muscle building process, and you know, it's a really good source of protein for that. So usually that meal is 10 ounces of 96% lean ground beef. I try to switch my carbs up at that meal. Sometimes it's white rice. Sometimes it could be a baked potato, sweet potato, something like that. And then I'll have one more meal, a grilled chicken meal. Again, 10 ounces. I try to get at least 50 grams of protein per meal. And I'll have one more meal with carbs. Again, switching those carbs up, trying to keep some variety in there. But after that, you know, the rest of the day into the night, it's just clean proteins and veggies. A lot of times I actually eat a lot of fish, swai. I don't know if you've ever heard of swai.
Yep.
It's a big white fluffy fillet. I buy them about a 4-pound bag at Walmart.
Yeah.
And
we used to love those.
Yeah. Back in the day when we ate meat.
Yeah. It's just a huge fillet, man. And there's no fishy taste at all. You know what I mean? And it's perfect. And then I'll have one more meal before I go to bed. And that just really depends. Sometimes I'll have a casein protein shake before I go to bed. And that's pretty much my day, man. You know, working the weekends, Yuri can tell you, working the weekends, I have the week off. So I can focus strictly on my training and my diet. And it's never been this good. I wish I had it like this back when I was competing earlier on, you know, as far as having all this free time through the week, because I mean, this prep right here is better than any prep I've ever done. So
I love it though. And the fact that you can sit there and just like rattle off everything that you eat in a day shows us exactly how consistent you are too, that you know exactly what you're doing at what time. And this is something we preach to our clients, but tell us, you know, how consistency helps you.
I mean, that's everything. Really, it's everything. You have to be consistent with everything. I mean, you have to come full circle with that consistency, with the training and the diet and even sleeping. I mean, your body repairs itself when you're at rest. So, you know, I try to get at least 8 hours a night. You know, I'm in bed, even on my days off, I'm in bed at between 9:30 and 10 o'clock. So I try to be up at 6, starting the next day, you know. So
that's one of the main things a lot of people don't understand, the recovery process. Like you said, if you're not getting 7-8 hours of sleep, then your body's it's not allowed a long enough time for your muscles to recover and stuff like that.
Sure.
That's huge.
Yeah. And I know you guys have to be going to bed early, because I know he puts up the videos of walking in the neighborhood, what, like 3 in the morning?
Yeah, exactly.
4 or 5 in the morning. Yeah, I'm at it.
Yeah. And here's the thing is it's so consistent for us that even when we were on vacation last week, and then not only that, but we were an hour behind because we were in Louisiana. So every night we were in bed like 7:30, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, we're old people on vacation in bed at 7:30."
That's what I think about myself now. I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm getting old." But it's good, man. I mean, you know, again, I wish I had it like this when early in my competitive days, because everything is perfect now. And again, going to bed early like that is a huge part of it. So, yeah, man, I'm really enjoying things right now.
When you go to the gym, how long are you spending on your workout? About how long are you there?
Quick and intense, dude. You know, I'll tell you this about Steven at work. Remember, Steven was talking about being in the gym for 2 hours. That's insane, dude. Forget about that. That's not how you do it. I'm in the gym maybe 5 or 10 minutes over an hour. And that's including 20 minutes of cardio.
That's what I was about to ask. I had a feeling the cardio was in there.
Yeah. I'm doing a lot of cardio now just because I'm trying to stay lean. I used to be back in the day when I was in a bulking phase. I'd probably do cardio 1 time a day. Now, of course, I do my fasting in the morning first thing, and then I do 20 minutes after my workout. And then I take my wife, Tammy, I train her in the evenings 3 days a week. I'll do cardio with her. So right now I'm doing on 3 days, I'm doing cardio 3 times a day, just trying to stay lean. And as long as my diet is in check, and I'm eating enough protein and enough carbs to help, with the recovery process, I'm gaining good muscles. So again, it's, different changes that I've made in my prep this time around, and everything is working. But as far as like my workouts, quick and intense, dude. It's, I get in there, I tear my muscles down to complete failure. That's part of my system. This 5-part training series that I'm putting up, I'm actually training a client, and we're doing, it's 5 different videos, but we're doing 2 body parts per video. But I'm doing I'm doing an intro video called "What is Hybrid Training," where I'm going to explain all of these concepts and how the whole system works. But it's just it's quick and intense, low volume, high intensity. Even I go through, just to kind of give you a little bit of an insight of how it works. It's a ramping phase. Over a 3-week process, I'm ramping up the volume and intensity each week through numbers of sets and reps. Just to give you an example, like we'll start the ramp, and again, keep in mind it's low volume. We start the ramp, let's say I'm doing chest and buys, I'll do 8 working sets at 8 to 10 reps. We have to find a weight within that 8 to 10 rep range where I'm failing. My muscles are failing at that lower number. And then I'm forcing out 2 more reps. If I'm training with a training partner, of course, your training partner is going to help you force out a couple more reps. 8 sets like that. The second week, I'll add 2 more sets, 2 more reps. I'll go from 8 sets to 10 sets, 8 to 10 reps to 10 to 12 reps. At this point, I'm adding in complete failure sets, like the last 2 sets that I do. Just to give you an example, chest, I'll do flat benches, incline benches, then I'll do some flies, and then I'll go over to the press machine that's weighted, you know, the stacks, and I'll go all the way down the stack until I can't do 5 pounds, and I'll do 2 sets of those. Okay. The third week, which is what I call hell week, I'm doing 12 sets, 13 to 15 reps, no rest between sets. We're going from one set to the next, to the next. When we finish here, we go over here, we do the same thing. And at this point, my body is getting really, really close to overtraining. Okay. And again, this is where we're manipulating that whole adaptation system. My body's trying to adapt to all this volume I keep adding over a 3-week span. So it's really chugging along, man. It's really trying to keep up. Well, once we get into hell week and we get towards the end of hell week, I'm getting really close to overtraining. Okay, so what's going to happen is my body's going to give up. I'm going to slip into overtraining, and then my progress is just going to be done like that. You know, overtraining can be worse than not training at all, because your body just becomes fatigued. A lot of things happen. Okay. What we want to do is we want to get as close to that as we possibly can without actually slipping into it. So by the end of hell week, we go into what we call the super growth phase, where we cut back way on the volume. We take all that volume away. We go back down to 8 sets, but we go down to 6 to 8 reps, lifting heavy, with a lot of rest period between sets. Like I'll do a set and then I'll rest for 2.5, 3 minutes. And what we're doing in this phase, and we're in this phase for 3 weeks. What we're doing in this phase is we're incorporating recovery into the workout. Okay. Now, keep this in mind. Your body's still in overdrive from trying to keep up with all that volume and intensity. Once you get in that first week, once you get into that first week of the recovery phase, you just cut back. You don't taper off. You just cut back down to that, 8 sets, 6 to 8 reps. Your body's still in overdrive. So that's why they call it the super growth phase, because over the next 3 weeks, because your body's in overdrive trying to keep up with all that volume and intensity, you see your results go out the roof, man. It's like nothing you've ever seen. Okay. Once you get into that 6th week, which is a 6-week ramping phase, once you get into that 3rd week of the recovery phase, it starts to slow down, because what's happening is your body's adapting. It's starting to adapt to that lower volume. The recovery phase, it starts to adapt. Once you kind of, and you have to know your body. Once you recognize that, then you just start ramping back up again. And it's just like a pyramid effect. Yeah. And again, it's just about manipulating. And I make it sound a little simple, but you have to incorporate a lot of different stuff. Like you have to change up your routine as far as the order that you do things. When I was talking about doing the failure sets on the plating machine, I'm doing those at the end in this 6-week phase or the 3-week phase. I'm doing that at the end of the workout. Well, the next ramping phase, I'll do them at the beginning, and it's called pre-exhausting. And I'll do those at the beginning of the workout. So it's just little subtle changes, each ramp, each week, doing things differently that keeps your body guessing.
So it's pretty much the same things throughout this 6-week process. Just every now and then you'll switch out the order and stuff like that.
The load.
Yeah. You'd be surprised that, it's really, it's the simple things, man, that make all the difference in the world, and as long as you're doing things differently each week, your body's guessing is what you're going to do next. And if your body's guessing, then you're seeing results.
Mm-hmm.
Once it figures out what you're doing, it's done. It don't have no reason to change.
Yeah, our bodies don't want to provide us with more muscle than it has to. The only way it's going to do that is when you force it to by overexerting your muscles and causing them to have to grow to adapt to the load that you're putting on it.
Yeah, that's where a bunch of people who go to the gym training who don't really know what they're doing, they may just go and say, I'm going to do 4 sets of 10 and that's it. And maybe 2 or 3 weeks, they think they've gotten stronger, but really they've been chickening out where they could have even done more if they were going to failure or going past failure. They would have grown those muscles much faster.
And I 100% believe that mindset is the biggest thing behind that, because we tell ourselves that we can only do so much when our body's capable of so much more. And like pushing to that point means getting past that in your mind.
Because your mind's telling you just stop 10. This is all I can do.
Your mind is telling you I can't do no more. But really, you got one more set of
you
got one more rep in there. There's still one more in there. That's what I tell my clients when I'm working with them and they get to that failure point. Of course, they want to give up. No, you got one more in there. Get it out. There's still one more in there. Get it out. And it's just pushing your body to that failure point. And again, forcing your body to change. Your body is, and this kind of goes to what you were saying, Ashley. Your body is always in a state. It's always in a state where it's trying to, and again, it's adaptation. Your body's always trying to relieve itself of stress. And it does that through, I don't want to say muscle tear down or breakdown, but really that's what it is. If you don't work out, your body will relax itself. It's about keeping your body in what's called an anabolic state, to where you're building muscle. And that, man, that's the tricky part. It's like chess. You know what I mean? It's like making the right moves and doing the right things to manipulate that whole system. So, but
let's go back and talk about the hybrid training concept, because you gave us a good outline of kind of how you train your clients, but how did you come up with this?
Well, it's basically 2 different concepts. It's the Big Beyond Belief book and the adaptation principles that Leo wrote, that I did the podcast with. But what I have done, if you read the book, you'll know that Leo believes in a lot more high volume training. He believes that, the body can recover, depending on the volume, your body can recover itself within 2 hours. If you're doing some manipulation, if your nutrition's in right, and if you're using steroids or something like that, then you can train your ass off. But for the normal person, I personally have found that my body responds better to low volume. So what I have done is me and Yuri talked a little bit about it. I do HIIT training, but I do the original HIIT training, which is low volume, high intensity, that was started by a guy named Mike Menser. And basically what I have done is I've taken these 2 concepts and combined them. And that's what I call hybrid training concepts. It's just my twist on what I believe are the 2 best systems out there. And I've just kind of combined the 2 ideas. And again, I've put my own kind of name on it, but, I make sure that I credit Leo and Mike, as far as who I'm training behind and how I've combined the 2 concepts. But I believe it's one of the best systems out there. And I'm living proof of that. I used to say all the time when I was a personal trainer full time, there was a time when I had 18 clients. I was training clients 8 hours a day, 6 days a week. And I always used to say, I never lost a client from lack of results. They always seen results. And it was this system that I trained everybody on. And I used to, I had a log book for every client. Every day we would write down everything that they did, sets, reps, everything. The rest periods between sets, I used to carry a stopwatch and I'd time the rest periods, because that would change every week. That would, as going back to the ramping phases, I may start in the first week of the ramping phase, that it might be 2-minute rest periods. The next week I'll go down 30 seconds. The next week, I kind of, Hell Week was kind of hard on my clients, you know, but so I would still give them some time between sets, but only like a minute, 60 seconds. That's it, you know, because we have to touch on that intensity part of it, you know. But again, that's what hybrid is. That hybrid is a combination of what I believe are the two best training systems out there in Leo's Big Beyond Belief, and how he manipulates the whole adaptation system. And then, you know, just combining Mike's philosophy of the low volume, high intensity. Now, I credit Mike Menser because he's the one that actually started the whole HIIT training. But Mike used to say back in the day that you only needed to do one set to complete momentary failure. Which I don't believe, and a lot of people don't. People believe in his concepts of low volume and high intensity, but everybody was like, well, Mike's a little bit extreme. So I kind of base it on, I don't know if you've ever heard of Dorian Yates, 6-time Mr. Olympia. What he's done is he's expanded that volume a little bit. He trains low volume and high intensity, but he's added more volume, and he calls his system blood and guts. So I kind of base what I do around his system with just a little bit more volume than the 1 step max. So.
Okay. One of the bodybuilders that we listen to, Kim Constable, she's a vegan bodybuilder, and she references Dorian Yates a lot.
Yeah, I can definitely say with the way you're explaining your methods with the Hell Week, I can see why it would. I imagine some people when they know it's coming, they wake up that morning, they're in the bathroom, they're like, oh my goodness, I got to prepare myself to this. Because immediately when you said it, I was like, oh, I can feel that. I know how that feels. I can imagine that pain, but that's a good pain.
It's tough, man. It's tough. It's you know, but again, it's a phase that you have to touch on. You have to go there. You know, you have to touch on that. You can't spend a lot of time there. You know what I'm saying? But you have to. You just have to touch on a little bit. You got to push the limits just a little bit. And again, once you get to the end of that Hell Week, then, you know, there's that adaptation system that we have to manipulate. Your body's getting really close to overtraining. So what we have to do is go into a phase where we're incorporating recovery into the workout. And again, because of that adaptation system, your body's in overdrive at the end of that Hell Week, trying to keep up. And it's either going to, it's fight or flight. It's either going to have to, it's going to have to fight through it, which most of the time with normal people, it's not, you know. So what we have to do is we have to go into that phase. We don't taper off. We go straight into it because it's that element of surprise that keeps your body guessing. If you start to, if you start to come out of Hell Week slowly, that, you know, you're going to see some progress with that. But I believe that it's that element of surprise, man, that keeps that really shoots those results out of the roof. And I'm living proof. I know it works. You know what I mean? I've trained this way for many years. I've trained many clients this way, and I've seen it firsthand. I know it works. You know, I always say too, people talk about hitting a plateau. You hear that all the time. I hit a plateau. Well, you hit a plateau because you don't know. That's what I tell people. You know what I mean? You just don't know how to train. There's a lot more to it than just waking up one morning and saying, well, I'm going to the gym today. I wonder what I'll do. What? You know what I mean? When I wake up in the morning, I got a game plan. I know what I'm about to go do. You know what I mean? It's all written out in my brain, you know? So it's you know, training is a lot more sophisticated than people realize. People think you can just get up and go to the gym and do it day in and day out. And I always say this too about people at the gym. I see the same people because I go at the same time every day. I see the same people day in and day out and you got to give it to them, man. Their consistency and just going to the gym. You know, I'm proud of all of them. I don't want to down talk any of them, but I don't see any change in their physique. For me, since day one, it was about consistent results. It's about change. It's about seeing a difference in my body a month from now, not 2 years from now. So I always say, you know, I appreciate your loyalty and your consistency, but I don't know how you do it because I have to see results. That's what keeps me.
I think there's different kinds of people. I think some people go to the gym because it's what you do. There's some people that go just to kind of maintain, and then there's some people who go for serious growth.
Because you can go to the gym.
Everybody has a different objective.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that to the fullest. I really do. Mine just happens to be a little bit more extreme.
Right.
But it's because of that extremism that, I've learned how to keep those gains coming. And, I've stumbled across these ideals and these concepts. And, it's the best thing that ever happened to me. You know what I mean? So, and I can use the system with anybody. It doesn't matter what your goals are. We'll get you there. You know what I mean? On this system, we're going to get you there.
Yeah.
And once we get there, you're going to be hooked and you're going to want more. So that's the way I look at my system. It works for any and everybody, no matter what your goals are. And it's going to keep you loyal and consistent and dedicated. So, and I think results are the key to it all. That's what keeps them coming back. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's what kept my clients coming back. Like I said, I never lost a client due to lack of results. It was either money issues or something like that. Like I was telling Yuri, when I worked at Elite, I would have single moms that would come in and they were like, "Oh, I can't afford your rates." First thing out of my mouth was, and again, when I was at Elite, I could make these calls. What can you afford? What can you afford? We'll work it out. Just get in here. Get in here and let's make this happen. So once I went to the corporate world, I couldn't make those calls anymore. So, it was just little things like that. It kind of took the fun out of it for me.
Yeah, that's the thing about it. When you're doing something you love, it's not about the dollar sign. It's not about the money.
It's not.
It's about seeing those results and getting their body right and stuff like that. It's more pleasure over just money.
Absolutely. And another thing too, when you talk about the money aspect of it, like I was saying earlier, there was a time, and this was when I was at Elite, I had 18 clients. So I didn't need to charge everybody $65 an hour. I had the vice president of Food Line for 3 years, and I charged him $65 an hour. So, it was the high volume of clients that allowed me to take in that single mom and say, look, we can work this out. It doesn't, I'm not going to charge you this. These are my rates, but we'll work it out. We'll just
provide you that flexibility.
Absolutely. So, and that's when it was a passion for me. That's when it was fun. I miss those days, but I just had to readjust. I had to, there were some things as I get older, I need like health insurance and stuff like that. So that's why I kind of went back to where I am with Cheryl Williams and remember Katie, when Katie interviewed me and she told me the hours and the days, that light went on. I knew right then that I could get this back and I could do it on my terms through the week, online personal training. And ever since I've been at Sherwin-Williams, man, I've grew it and grew it. I'm doing the clothing line now. And it's just, I'm having so much fun with it now. It's just unbelievable. It's everything I wanted it to be. You know what I mean? So I'm just really happy with everything and the way things are going now. It's really cool. So,
perfect.
Yeah.
That's great. So tell us, Joe, where can everyone find you?
Okay. My YouTube channel is Hybrid Training Concepts. You can just search that. It'll come right up. On Facebook, I have the JP Fitness / Hybrid Training Concepts. You can search that. It'll come right up. And then I have my JP Fitness, Joe Perry Fitness Apparel, which is my clothing line. I have that page on there as well. I got a website coming. Me and my wife are building it right now. It should be ready to launch in about 2 weeks by the time of this comes out. So if you go to my pages, you like the pages, you subscribe to my YouTube channel, it's going to be on there. There'll be links everywhere. But again, right now, it's just my YouTube channel and the Facebook pages.
Awesome. We'll be sure to include all the links in the show notes for everyone below. That way, it'll just make it much easier. Everybody can find you.
Absolutely.
And Joe, we got some rapid fire questions for you.
Oh, okay.
I know the answer to this first question, I believe, but let's just ask it anyway. Weights or cardio?
Weights.
Favorite
What
fruit?
cardio? Oh, weights.
Favorite fruit?
Favorite fruit. I eat a banana every morning, so it had to be a banana. I wake up every morning with a banana. So
Okay.
yeah.
So do our kids.
A lot of bananas.
Yeah.
We got 3 bunches of bananas in there right now. Favorite vegetable?
I'm not a veggie person, so I eat, just for convenience, I eat a lot of green beans. When I'm in pre-contest and my carbs are really low, I eat a ton of green beans. So definitely green beans. I eat a lot of grilled chicken salads. So, but I'm very picky about my veggies. So it's pretty much just lettuce and tomatoes and maybe cucumbers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Favorite comfort food?
Oh wow. Believe me, and you guys know this, when you eat clean, there's a lot of thought that goes into that. You know what I mean? Probably just to get away from, I would say steak, but I eat a lot of red meat. I mean, like pizza. Tammy makes a really good homemade pizza. So I look forward to that. Yeah.
First thing that comes to your mind when you hear vegan?
Not what you would expect, because my sister is a vegan, and she's really, I told you already this. She really, she's totally dedicated to it, and I've tried it. I think there's a lot of. I'm impressed by people that can stay consistent with it. I'm very impressed, because it's not for me. Just being honest, it's not for me. I mean, I love my meats and proteins. I'm a bodybuilder, so my demands for protein pretty high. Not that you can't get protein from veggies, but on the biological value list of protein sources, of course, egg whites and chicken and stuff like that, I gotta have it. But vegans, man, my hat's off to you guys. I mean, because it's not something I can do, and it takes a lot of dedication. I know that from my sister. I give her hell all the time. Like she'll eat, I call them fake meats. Fake meat, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Beyond Burgers and stuff like that, But man, she don't waver, dude, and I'm very impressed by that. So
That's awesome.
very impressed by the lifestyle. Anybody that can live it, God bless you. So.
We did find out that it definitely was dedication when you're traveling, especially. It's a lot harder to find somewhere.
Especially when we were headed to New Orleans. It was like, where's the Burger King? Where's the Burger King?
try to find that Impossible Whopper.
Yeah, I ate one of those, man. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Any difference?
Yeah.
It was pretty good. So how'd that go?
It was basically finding Taco Bell and Burger King's on the way. Those are about the options.
Yeah. What's it, Taco Bell? What is that?
Just get like bean burritos, bean
with
and rice
and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet that was tough.
Yeah.
Probably had to Google that,
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We had to put it in as an additional stop on the way.
Awesome. That's cool.
Final question. Where do you get your strength from?
Like mental and emotional? Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Honestly, it's got to be my wife, Tammy. Without her, I wouldn't be able to do half of what I'm doing. She is my backbone. She is my support. She's everything to me. If she wasn't around, there's no way I could do what I do. So that's my mental and emotional strength. What I do is a passion, and my life wouldn't be right without it. So that kind of plays off into the physical part. Keeps my head straight. Without it, I don't know what I would do. I don't know where I would be if I hadn't took on this lifestyle. So what I do plays into that as well. So it's those two things, my wife and just the lifestyle itself.
That's so sweet.
Yeah. I can definitely relate. This one right here.
It takes two, man. You know, I'm following you guys. I see everything you guys do. And I know that, you know, like with me and Tammy, it's a team. It's a team effort, dude. You guys, I see it with you guys. You guys lean on each other. You feed off of each other. You know, people don't need that. Some people don't need that. I have to have it.
Oh, me too.
And I see that you guys have it. You guys are working together. And dude, that's everything, man. Because it's obviously working because you guys are killing it, dude. Killing it. I tell you it's all the time, man. I'm so impressed by, you know, you guys not only taking on this lifestyle, but just being consistent and dedicated to it, man. You know, it's amazing and very inspiring. Very inspiring.
Thank
you guys are doing. So awesome. Yeah. And you know, I want to do my part. I know you guys are going to put me out there, give me some plugs and stuff. I want to do the same for you guys, you know. And I'm going to mention you guys on my YouTube channel, on my pages as well. You know, with this podcast, I'm going to be plastering it everywhere. So
awesome. Very much appreciated.
Yeah. No worries.
All right, Joe. Well, we loved having you on tonight. Thank you so much for joining us.
So cool. I appreciate you guys asking me to do this. It was very cool. Again, I'm gonna put it out there everywhere, and I really enjoyed it. It's very cool talking to you, getting to meet you, Ashley.
You too.
I see Yuri all the time, so it's all good, man. You guys, again, I just want to stress again how impressed I am with you guys and everything that you guys are doing, man. It's really cool. Keep up the great work.
Thank you. We're so impressed with you as well. Man, I just love talking to Joe. It was so great learning about his hybrid training concept and how he's been able to use that not only for his clients, but also for himself through his competitions.
Yeah. When you think of bodybuilders, this is where most people, when they think of bodybuilders, they may not have a clue the consistency and hard work and dedication they put in. But after listening to Joe go on about his 26 years of experience, you're definitely going to find out what it is.
Yeah, exactly. It's not an overnight thing. It's something that you have to be consistent and continue to put that hard work in. And he definitely has, and it shows.
Definitely.